We're good? Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to become a professional trader? Are you ready to face your hardest opponent yet? Are you ready to accept that market conditions do vary, but you should still make money every single month? Are you ready to put yourself in a truly consistent trading environment? Is that something that is right for you? Are you willing to accept the fact that you are supposed to ignore 95% or more of every single idea you have on a stock's direction every single day? We'll go through that, my algo levels, as well as my final thoughts of the video. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. I have so many great things to talk to you about today and really want to get to the bottom of this. Are you ready to be a professional trader? Maybe you're not, maybe you are, but hopefully I can help you shed some light at that issue and actually tell you what is actually going to be involved, despite what Wall Street likes to tell you. By watching this video, you're going to pause the next slide, read it in full, and agree to it. Thank you so much for reading that. Okay, let's just go right into our agenda of the day here. We're going to talk about pretty loaded agenda here. Are you ready to face your hardest opponent yet, which is yourself? Can you accept that market conditions vary, but you should still be consistent every month? Are you going to put yourself in a true consistent trading environment? You're going to accept the fact that you have to ignore 95% of every trading idea that comes up in your head, algo levels, and final thoughts. So we're going to start with the first one. Being ready to face your hardest opponent, which is yourself, is one of the more vague things on Wall Street. It's not many things that educational courses like to speak about. Granted, this is not an educational course. This is a free video that I do out of the goodness of my heart to help get you to the next level. But really, are you ready to face your hardest opponent yet? Yourself. Many people in this world, there are many people in this world who have certain characteristic traits which make it hard for them to succeed as a trader. Think about it. How many of you guys out there, maybe it's you, but just be honest. How many of you guys know somebody, whether it's you or somebody else, who, when something goes wrong, you'll quickly point out that someone besides yourself was to blame? And it goes a lot deeper than that. I mean, it's called every other person in my family. Anyway, um, it's about understanding your weaknesses, understanding your strengths, and then going from there. The truth is, many Wall Street products are expensive, and that's the only reason why Wall Street can stay in business. The reason why Wall Street stays in business is because they come to you with a phenomenally priced item. And of course, there is the delusion that you get what you pay for, when in actuality, 99% of Wall Street is one of the very few businesses in the world where you practically never get what you pay for, whether it's an educational course or a service or a newsletter or a mentorship or a room or a brainstorming session or a this or a that or a this or that. The hardest person, the easiest way to overcome these things is to overcome yourself. Now, when you're trying to decide, are you ready to become a pro trader, you should at least be able to figure out one thing that you do not do well or a weakness. Many people, if I stopped and asked you, if I asked you right now, and in trading, nobody ever thinks about it. I'll prove it to you. How many of you guys right now, don't talk P&L, I want specifics. What are you weak at in trading right now? I want to hear your answer. Go ahead. Type it in chat, type it in the comment section. What is your weakness in trading? Many people are saying swing, too many trades, execution, entry, exit, waiting, over trading. holding too long, taking losing trades early, fear of pulling the trigger. The list goes on and on. If you're ready to become a pro trader, I have great news for you. You only need to be good at one thing in the market. A lot of the delusional things out there, they try to offer you many services that cover a wide array of things on the markets. But in actuality, by trying to bite off more than you can chew, you're likely going to fail at every one of them. Now, you might be watching this as a successful trader. I'm a successful trader by many standards in terms of at least that I make money. I'm a very low seven-figure trader, and you know, for me, that's considered consistent on many metrics. But few people know that for every dollar I put in the market, I'm actually at this exact moment extracting 9.5 cents. I'm literally extracting 9.5 cents for every dollar that I throw in the market. So if I throw in $1,000 in the market, it's going to return to me 95 cents. Doesn't sound like a lot, but actually it is considered in the top tier of hundredths of 1% of Wall Street. Now, when many people look at the market, they are under a lot of fallacies that they have to accomplish certain things. One of those fallacies are created by the what I called, again, if you watch my videos, the 43-57 paradigm, where you're going to only be right approximately half the time, slightly above, but slightly below, but on average, you're going to be right 50-50. Um, when you actually look at that, the only way to be successful is to have really big trades. Now, some people are very successful at doing that. Some people, but I have found those people tend to be 1 in 1,000, maybe 1 in 2,000, can be really successful doing that because they have the psychology and the psychological fortitude to withstand large losses. Often in those cases, they either have a spouse with a lot of money or they have a lot of money and the money that's on hand isn't going to cause psychological toxicity. For example, somebody with a few $1 million in a bank account is going to have a lot easier of a time losing 7 grand on a trade, 10 grand on a trade than somebody with 50 grand in a bank account and a $250,000 account, for example. They're going to handle those situations differently. That's why the funny part is when people actually come and they start talking about, you know, what their results are. Like if I just showed you like a P&L for my month, and again, I'll freely admit that this is not the best month in trading. In fact, I considered this month the hardest month this year for me. This year for me. And as you could see, the S&P 500 has been in a $11.69 range today, but if you actually look at the monthly of like the Qs, we actually extended our range today. We're actually in a $7.24 range for the month. Compare that to the $16 range last month. So is it really possible in the market to constantly make dollars and dollars and dollars on your trades? And the answer is, of course it is, but it's going to come at a cost. You want to know what the best scalpers in the world make? Billions of dollars. They're from tier one firms like Goldman Sachs. You know what these black boxes do? They're scalping nickels, dimes, quarters, and they're making billions and billions of dollars. When I say if you're ready to face yourself, you're going to have to understand that you need to start at the most modest level. Most people, I'm still, to this point, 20 years later, at the most modest level of trading. When in actuality, if I were to just sell, everything I have in a swing trade, for example, in Inseego, which is the Newsbeat Live stock of the year from our 2019 report. If you just simply bought Inseego, at the beginning of the year and before the year started, we're buying it here in the 370s. you would be up a lot of money, 60, 70% of your wealth. This was a high conviction idea for me, the highest conviction trade I've had all year. I didn't have to do anything besides this one trade. I didn't have to trade one single name this whole year. I could have just sat here and done nothing, and I would have way more money than I have made in my entire year of trading so far. That's all I had to do. And some people are going to be drawn to that. So for the sakes of this video, I am, I guess, referring to, you know, more of an intraday style because most of the rooms that you're going to join are pretty much all intraday trading. And yeah, if you do a 1 day overnight, but very few of them talk about swinging things for years or a dozen months or half a dozen months. Some do, some don't. So I think one of the fallacies of Wall Street is that a guru is allowed to have a bad month of trading. I disagree with that. If somebody really knows what they're doing, they're going to know how to make money every single month of the year. I find it a little bit funny how the gurus, when they're having decent days, they're all boasting a P&L. And then all of a sudden, when they're not having a good month, well, let's just change the topic and somewhere else. They don't show you their hardest months. And I only recently started showing a P&L after, people were just requesting to see it, as if that means anything in the world for you, as if seeing myself making, a million plus a year means anything to your bottom line. It doesn't. Most traders try to make dollars in the market when they're not even good at making nickels and dimes. If you take trading and you strip it down to the most basic level, you will be able to become successful. You know how many traders are, again, just making the numbers up, buying a stock at $20, trying to sell it at $21 with a stop at 1975 or 1950, and they tell themselves, oh, that's 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 in my favor. Of course, the problem involved is you're not going to be right over half the time by doing that. If you are unable to make nickels and dimes in the market, what on earth makes you think that you can make dollars consistently? Yeah, you keep throwing your money and holding a bunch of trades, a lot will work, a lot will fail. But my question for you is, are you ready to really face yourself as the hardest opponent? When you play a video game like Super Mario Brothers, you start on the easiest stage. And there's a little Goomba walking, the little mushroom guys, they're called Goombas, walking near you, and then you could just jump over it. And then when you get to the last stage, there's fire pits and this and that and things and flames and Bowser's throwing an axe at you, and it gets a lot more complex. The funny thing about trading is that new traders come and they're put in this whirlwind of toxicity. You're put in a whirlwind of toxicity because you have no idea how the game really works. Traders are sitting here trying to make dollars. I'm trying to make nickels and dimes and quarters. People be like, that's easy. How much money can you really make making nickels, dimes, and quarters? My answer, millions. But you have to do all these trades, Mark Melnick, if you're going to make nickels, dimes, and quarters and make $1 million. Wrong. I could do it between 1 and 2 trades a day. So you're telling me you can make nickels, dimes, and quarters and make over $1 million by doing 1, 2, maybe 3 trades a day? Yes. You have to also accept that the market conditions do vary, but you should make money every single month. Now, I know every trader would love, some traders don't even have one profitable month. It's very, very important. It's very important. The problem with most traders are they have a phenomenally high cost basis for what they actually try to make. For example, if you are taking overnight trades and you're throwing $50,000, or let's make it easy, like on my earnings list, which congratulations if you're following our earnings list. There's a link in the description in the video if you'd like to track them. They're free, take advantage of them. Like on my earnings list, I give an example of $100,000 per trade, right? So just to show you real quick, I'll show you, this is a very high quote. This is a beta sheet, meaning it's the first time I'm trying it. And ever since yesterday, I have 70 to 4, I have 66 names given. 66 names would make you about $100,000 with a $100,000 bet per name. But what does that mean? Well, you do 66 times 100,000, and you had to put in $6.6 million in common stock to extract $100,000. Very simply, just simply buying or shorting at the close, covering or selling at the open. That's it. You would have to dump $6.6 million in. So when you have $6.6 million and or you take like 98,99496 divided by $6.6 million, you're getting a return about 1 and 0.015 cents per every dollar you're throwing in. You're making 1.5 tenths of a cent for every dollar you're throwing in. And that's important to note because a lot of traders will encourage overtrading in this environment. The truth is, if the guru you're following cannot make money every single month and they're not putting you in an environment to make money every single month, which goes hand in hand, you will fail. Because what nobody likes to talk about, mostly through ignorance, I don't really think there's bad bones in people's body. I mean, sure they exist in the world, but most people are good. If you're sitting there buying dozens of names, dozens of trades in the same name every single day, and you're chopping around up and down, you will probably never find success. One of the biggest dark guru secrets out there is right now, most likely 99.99999999999999999% the person you are following are sort of doing trades behind your back. Meaning that when you're actually following a guru, you're getting a small percentage of the trades they're actually executing upon. When they give a trade idea, most of the trade ideas are several trades, sometimes dozens of trades in the same security, in and out over and over. This becomes very obvious when gurus don't like to show their cost basis and or their option contract or share size. So for me personally, I'm up a little better than 30 grand this month. I'm having a very hard month. I'm dumping probably over 6 figures to charity every single year. And if you just look at just a little screenshot of my results, this is the impressive part here. The cost basis for proceeds. So on average, I'm making 9.5 cents per trade. 9.5 cents. So I showed you the earnings one as a perspective. Literally, just multiply the 64 names I gave you for earnings, multiply it by the $100,000 standard position, divide it, multiply it for whatever you're playing with, and you would make about 1.5 cents for every dollar you throw in utilizing my ideas. Now, granted, you would be up almost $100,000, the full amount per bet. But don't underestimate nickels and dimes. The reason why people underestimate nickels and dimes in this market is because they have no consistency. If you have no consistency, you're batting 50%, you're likely going to lose those same nickels and dimes when you're wrong. So then you have to have these big outsized home run movers, otherwise you'll just never make it. When in actuality, if you could make, I would say if you can make 5 cents for every dollar you throw in, I would consider you a really high-end professional trader. On average, I mean, including your losers. If you're making 5 cents for every dollar you throw in, I would consider you in the upper echelon of top traders on the planet. Considering you're active and you didn't just do one trade, you get the picture. Like somebody who does it consistently over time. This right here, the 9.5 cents thing I showed you, was actually my lowest return per dollar this year. Market conditions vary. The way you make money in every single environment is you have to change your damn strategies. It sickens me because that was me 10 years ago. And I wish somebody like me made a video and said, she took me by the collar. Mark, listen to me, Mark. Listen to me, Mark. You're doing well, Mark. You make me proud, Mark. But listen up, Mark. You got to do the right thing. You got to evolve your strategies. You got to tweak what you're doing. Stop over trading. Tweak your strategies. Be right on 2 names. Stop trading 100 names and making money 55 times out of 100. Stop doing that, Mark. You're poisoning your mind, Mark. It's going to hurt you later, Mark. I wish I could have that conversation with me. I can't. You can't turn back the clock on what already happened. But you can learn and evolve from what has happened. If you are somebody who's doing the same exact thing now as you did in January, I will short of guarantee you your monthly P&Ls are like whoosh, 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 probably mostly heading down. But nobody tells you that. I'd rather sell you the next new course. I'd rather sell you the next new product. I'd rather promise you that all your life's worries and issues were just a result of you not doing this one, two, three, four, five secret things. You have to accept that market conditions do vary, but if you are not making money every single month, there is something wrong going on that you need to fix. I don't care if you made $500,000 in one month and lost 200,000 the next. You're in for some real trouble. Up 300,000? No, you're in for some real trouble. The fact that you're up money does not mean you are not destroying yourself for a further day. I learned that the hard way. Take it from me. The next step is put yourself in a true consistent trading environment. Be with a group of people who go above and beyond to help you. The, the funny thing is, it took me not 12 years, it took me about 8 years, 7, 8 years to create a truly consistent trading environment. An environment where I'm not going to spit out 100 trades at you. I'm just going to take very few trades, be up money, be happy, enjoy the time I can spend with my family, not feel like a truck ran over me every single day. You have to put yourself in a truly consistent trading environment. Unfortunately, Wall Street doesn't offer you that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You might be sitting here saying, I can derive value from a room. All right. You could be one of the 1-2 percenters out there that are watching this video and have an ability to derive value from a room while executing on your own stuff and your own ideas while just extracting pieces of value from a room. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But for the other 98% of people, that is very difficult because a lot of people don't have those skills already. You have to put yourself in a true consistent trading environment. We have dozens and dozens of traders who are the most successful prop traders at their firms, who have the highest consistency ratio, who have the prop firms calling them on the phone, asking them if they want more money. Why? Because trading, as I go to step 4 here, trading forces you to accept the fact that you're supposed to ignore 95% of every idea you have in a stock's direction. As a trading room guru, I focus more on the room than my own trading. My trading suffers massively as a result from running a trading room. I can admit that. Most gurus out there, their P&Ls are higher from running a trading room, based on other videos that I make, based on the fact that the majority of gurus tell you what they're in, after the trade is working for them, and they create these little micro moves in the market. Usually be for smaller cap names. Billion and less dollar companies are definitely the ones that are, well, the small cap rooms you see on Wall Street. That's what they do. That's what they are infamous for doing. Ask anybody who goes to their rooms, and they'll tell you the same thing. And that makes it even harder for a trader like you to be in a consistent trading environment. Now, as a selfless, you know, shameless rather, promotion, yes, we did create that one environment here at T3 Live. That is why we're the largest, fastest growing trading room. Because we literally put you in the same boat as everyone else. There was a trade today in Best Buy, which hundreds of people in the room caught that I missed, even though it was my idea, my play, and I was talking about it before it happened. Right over here, I was looking to buy Best Buy in the room in real time today. I said at Best Buy right over here at this point after it ran up. I said right over here, if Best Buy breaks 79.50, I'm going to buy it. Best Buy hits 79.48 and shoots up and never looks back. Hundreds of people were part of that trade. You know who wasn't part of that trade today? Me. You know why? You want to know why? Because I was telling people of what I was expecting the stock to do before it happened. And guess what? It did. It went down to 79.48. Hundreds of Newsbeat Live members were part of this trade, not Mark Melnick. I put in a bid, I couldn't get filled. I decided not to market order in a little higher, which in hindsight would have obviously worked and whatever. Yeah, I stood there all day asking people, who's in it? Who's in it? All right, you're in it. Let me give you the breakthroughs. Let me give you the targets. Targets stay high. Look for a break of 80.54. Goes to 80.70. If you're leaving a runner on, great. Play it versus the bottom of where you bought it at the dead bottom of the stock there. Position never went against you for a second. And I sit there all day analyzing. That is somebody who goes above and beyond and gives you transparency beyond anyone else. My P&L from 2014, 2015 forward started stabilizing. And then I started making money off my swing trades, which again I share in the room in real time, over my intraday stuff. But I have a goal here. I do have a goal here. I want to create the largest group of consistent traders on the planet. I know. It sounds like a feat that's too big, like a pipe dream. I've watched my room balloon in size 6, 7,000% over a few years. And I would like to think, I know it for a fact, but I would like to think that the users, no matter where they are in trading, see the value in the time that I put into the community which goes above and beyond every single service that you will ever be part of. Whether it's I don't know, how many hours do I spend, how many hours of video do I make every single week, including the ones that you guys don't see for the room, probably around 16, 17 hours of video content a week. Members talking, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up since members are talking. We have an individual, God bless his soul, trader who can't be part of the quickest trades in the room because he's a quadriplegic. And he has a loving wife and he wants to help contribute to his family. We literally invented a strategy that works in this market that is conducive to this trader making money. You want to talk about taking personal situations in life and creating an environment that can literally help traders of all walks of life, as opposed to just, taking pictures with, Ferraris behind me, or my beach house in the Bahamas, or my $1 million house that I'm sitting here talking to you in, or the three cars that I have in my garage now. Instead of doing bullshit, instead of doing, excuse my language, things like that, I would rather actually just help you, dedicate time, dedicate everything that I have to ensure your success. So when this show ends, guess you know what I do when this show actually ends? I'm spending time with the members of my room. You know how much charity that the Newsbeat Live room has given to certain charities? I speak to these charities. Sometimes I just throw like $1,000 at something. They come back to me and they're like, right after you did your, you know, sponsorship presentation, they received like $150,000. Charities making the world a better place. That is the type of environment that you're going to want to be in. Trust me. And I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. A lot of you guys who are not consistent yet. You're thinking to yourself, I want to be in that situation to help people, but I need to help myself and my family first. And we're here for that. And I respect that. You know how many people are in that situation and gave to charities 2 years, 1 year later after they're able to make it? Countless. Next step. Accept the fact that you are supposed to ignore 95% of every idea you have in a stock's direction. This especially goes for me because, unlike other services out there, I am constantly asking the room, what can I break down for you? I am breaking down, on average, 300 names a day for room members. There's a lot of overlap. A lot of traders are watching the same name. Then what I do after the show is I ask again if there's any names I could break down for you guys, give you algorithmic support levels. But you know how much money I'm making on those ideas? If I give 300 names a day, about 1%. A lot of times traders will see a stock and they'll be like, I think it's going to run up. And then they get focused on attention elsewhere. And then they look back and the stock rocketed higher. I should have been part of that. No, you shouldn't have. Yes, I understand that if you were, your P&L would have gone higher. I get that. But no, you shouldn't have been part of that. All these lies and nonsense as if making money is, you see a chart pattern, it fits your methodology, slam it. Go in every time. Yeah, I'm going to overcome my fear of pulling the trigger by pushing forward and having to pull the trigger right away. Like that's going to actually do something for you short of blowing up your account and causing psychological toxicity. You are not supposed to. I batted 100% today, by the way, on my ideas. You know how good I feel? You know how good I feel today? I didn't make tens of thousands of dollars. I didn't even make $1,000 today. 20-year veteran. I didn't even make $1,000 today. But I feel awesome. I feel totally awesome batting 100%. I'm happier. I'm healthier. My mind is clear. The market is choppy. I know when the market gets good, I'm going to be knocking it out of the park. I know I will. Do you have what it takes to ignore all the nonsense, all the FOMO? And that's another thing that even I, go through with a trading room here. That when you're actually running a room, reading the chat can be very toxic, especially if you get FOMO easily, because you're going to see traders who are making money in all these different names, hundreds of names, and you're going to be like, wow, I should have been in that, or wow, that was nice, or wow, how can I do that, or maybe you can help me, or, and everybody is trying to jump around, figuring out, how they catch the next big move. You are supposed to ignore 95% of every single idea you ever have. And it's kind of funny, my quote for the day down here is actually my own quote. And it says, a successful trader becomes you once you admit your weaknesses. Only then are you strong enough to succeed. That was the whole point. Do you know what your weaknesses are? So, algo levels for tomorrow. Here they are, November 27th, support and resistance. Screenshot them, write them down, whatever you need to do. Pause this video later on and copy anything that you'd like. They don't always hit, but when they do, they work for me 70% of the time or more. And I'm just going to share I'm going to just share my final thoughts here. I'm just going to share my final thoughts on this video here. Is that trading is really just all about changing. Things that are working for you last month or the month before will, at randomness, just suddenly stop working. The algos are constantly evolving. The robots are constantly evolving. The only way to stay a step ahead of every other trader in the market is to see what the robots are doing. When you see a stock move up and down, that's minimal human interaction. It is 90+% robotic interaction. So when I'm finding strategies that work in this environment, ladies and gentlemen, the robots are telling us what's working. The reason why gurus go through pitfalls and do well and go through pitfalls and do well and vice versa is simply because the market changes, yet they are still applying the same stuff to every single environment. And that goes for gurus and traders alike. So if you see the way I'm trading this month, my trading changed completely. The type of intraday stuff I look for is different. Why? Because the market requires that of me if I want to remain consistent. So the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, whatever educational course you buy, unless it's one that deeply roots, a live psychological setting like the Newsbeat Bandit course, but even going back to like my master class and things like that, even though that's been very effective lately, there'll be times where it's not effective and times where it's effective. So anything you learn, you have to understand as a trader that your education actually never ends. That's the irony. So before you pay for another course, before you waste your money, stop and ask the person, what percentage of the time do these trades work right now? And if they give you a number like 60% or or 75% and they give you just a blanket answer like that, they are probably lying because you're probably going to get to a decimalization. Probably going to get to a decimalization. If you ask them, well, on your strategies that you're teaching, what is your cost basis? For every dollar you put in the market, how much does the market give you back? If you ask me that question right now, I can just literally answer you 9.5 cents, 9.5 cents for every dollar I put in for this month. So when you take and you learn anything, it's only as strong as what's working now. Because if you keep applying the same thing over and over again, you're going to be at the mercy and praying that the market allows your strategy to work in the current environment. And a lot of times it won't work for months, sometimes years, before your strategy is effective again. That is why traders take educational courses and cannot make it in the market. They do not understand that fact. In the video, I have the Know Your Limit. I have the VWAP reversal and Know Your Limit 21 strategy in the video. Those are Newsbeat shows 481 and 462. There's a link to both of them. Why am I telling you that? Is because they are working now. I don't know if they're going to work a week from now, a month from now. Maybe they work for the next 6 months. But what I have in there, what I have every day is at least one or two strategies, at least one that works in the current environment. And that is the true step to consistency. Not any nonsense graph, not me telling you how you should feel at the end of the trade, nothing else. So until you're ready to, in this trader's very humble opinion, accept all those things, and you are ready to accept all those things, put yourself in the right environment, face yourself, accept that market conditions vary, know that you're not supposed to capitalize on every single idea you have, and you're ready to accept all that, then I humbly believe that you are now, for the first time, truly ready to become a professional trader. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Slap the like button if you like this show. Again, I do not monetize these videos, but it does let me know that you like the content I provided. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Happy trading, make money, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.